of it is free to the public. A lot of it's very expensive. A lot of they have dinners and balls, and the coolest thing is they have they do a route. They have all the cars that want to participate that are actually in the show and in the concourse. They do a big concourse judging on Sunday. They go out and for a drive, and they change the route from year to year. A couple years I've watched it, they started over in Narragansett and went over the Jamestown Bridge through Jamestown. In fact, they go right around Beavertail Point, where W1N says ours location was. And I was hoping they were going to do it again, but this past year, actually I didn't go. It rained, and they had it, but it wasn't very good. They were over in Sakonnet, on the other side of the Sakonnet River, over in Little Compton, working their way west to Newport, the easternmost part of the island. It's actually almost cut off from the rest of Rhode Island, Little Compton, Tiverton area. But yeah, they do some spectacular stuff over there. And Jay Leno's a big president. He bought one of the mansions over there, and so he's in town a lot. And he comes out and hangs out with everybody just like a regular, regular car guy, the ultimate regular car guy. So it's great. And they have a very good YouTube channel, Old Drain Museum. They every couple of weeks they put something up, or maybe once a week, twice a week, featuring a specific car with Donald Osborne driving around, commenting on it. Very, very cool stuff. WA3VJB AJ1G.
Yeah, I always wondered about a drive related to these cars and coffee, but at least in our area, they wind up wanting to get there early in the morning and scope out a spot. Cars of like kind want to be together in a row, and nobody really wants to drive around, so they don't do that here. They just get there at the crack of dawn and stake out their places. It's kind of like a ham fest. They bring their chairs, and they sit by their cars, and people walk around, But yours sounds like a pretty good tour there, an excursion besides a show. I would like that. AJ1G WA3VJB, if I hadn't said that. Yeah, who else lives there? I know Brown has moved to Carolina, but Tom lives out that way too in Jamestown, W2ILA, who has been for many years with Trimble Navigation. He used to come down here to the Annapolis boat shows, and I'd get to host him over here at the house, and we'd hang out for a while, or he'd get me some free Trimble Navigation swag, coffee cups, shirts, stuff like that. But they're supposed to give away to the people buying Trimble Navigation products. Well, I might. Our 19-foot boat needs a complete sonar radar system, sure. Know where I'd mount it, but thanks for the shirt. And the body style of the Datsun Fair Lady, that's probably the word I'm looking for, the Fair Lady. It actually came out as an SPL 310, that's its alphanumeric, in 1961 at the Tokyo Auto Show in October. And then the MGB made its debut, I think it was May or June, at either the Frankfurt or the London Auto Show in 62. So it beat it. But the poor Fair Lady kind of lost its chance when the 240Z came out in 1970 or in 1969 for the Japanese domestic market. 1970s when they started importing them to the United States. And the Fair Lady was kind of an orphan. It didn't sell as hot as the Z would go on to be sold. The dealer network wasn't very strong, although I can't imagine the MGB British Leyland dealer network. Well, they were usually an adjunct to an existing American brand, if I remember correctly. It's kind of like Simca used to be part of the Chrysler dealership chain. And I think Nissan or Datsun in those days would also pair up with an American branded auto distributor. And that just didn't catch on quickly enough by the time the Roadster's days were numbered. But they made them from 62 really, to 1970, the last year of manufacture was 1970. That must have been a heck of a showroom, Chris. The 240Z, two different flavors of the convertible, the overhead cam 2000, and the overhead valve 1600, which is a much more durable engine, but 96 horsepower instead of 135, which is noticeable. The 1200, which was the predecessor to the B210, the 510 sedan, coupe, and wagon, 3 different flavors there. The pickup truck, and what was the other one? I think they had one more that I'm forgetting. Kind of a Corolla-sized Datsun. Oh no, I guess that was the 510. Yeah. Anyway, that had to be a pretty packed showroom in those days, and wow. I know there was a dealership on the Eastern Shore, not far from WX10, Bruce's place, that agreed to host my Datsun for the winter. Now, I wasn't going to be driving it in the winter by any means, and I needed a place to put it so I could put our commuter car in the garage. So this particular dealership, and this is back when the Datsun name was still a going concern, so it had to be both for 1984. I think it was a switch over to Nissan. He agreed to let me park my car in his showroom as a way of breaking the ice with people who might consider buying a new Datsun. It's like, look at our style and longevity. Apparently it worked, because he invited me back the next winter, too. I got 2 or 3 winters out of it before we moved out here in '87. And, of course, they'd changed to Nissan, which is a separate problem, I think, that they created for themselves. Nissan. I mean, sure, that's what it was called in Japan, but Datsun was the friendly name in the U.S. that was just starting to catch on. Well, yeah, I'm not taking any notes, Chris. I know I've wandered around a number of different subject matters, just kind of top of my head type of narrative. I got to go here at the top of the hour, so let me kick it back to you for a final, and maybe get back here in a little while. Some stuff to do. Good hearing you. Good signal holding up, too, by the way. AJ1G, where's my push to talk? Here it is, WA3VJB.
Yeah, WA3VJB, AJ1G, very, very interesting all around. Boy, you know, talk about showrooms. The other extreme, I've been dealing with the local Toyota dealer, which is another subject. The frame replacements on the Tacomas, which has been going on as a factory recall thing since like 2007. They're great trucks, but they do have issues with their frames. But fortunately, Toyota stands behind them. And if you get any sort of rust on your frame, they'll give you a new one. And I had mine inspected, and there was like one small hole less than the size of my thumbnail on a midsection where like the forward half of the frame and the rear half of the frame, the metal overlap, and it's really nothing, but that qualifies me for a new frame. So I went over there a couple of times, checking out, getting the car checked out, and finding out when they're going to do it and how they do it and all. But the last summer, last fall when this all started, they had absolutely no new vehicles, maybe one, in their showroom where they normally have space for about 10. And the only other thing they had was like a 1985, I don't know, Corolla or something like that. It was a mid-size, what would be the next size up, I forget now. But anyhow, it was a very nice sedan that they had sold to somebody, and the thing looked absolutely brand new, except maybe a little bit of wear in the carpet. And they had that, on display. It might have belonged to, one of the owners, aunts or uncles or something like that. They bought it from the dealership. But that's changed now. The cars are coming back. The prices are outrageous. But I don't know when they're going to do the frame on it. I found out I qualified for it back in the fall. He said it was going to happen in February, and I talked to him about a month and a half ago, and we got the frame, but there's all sorts of parts that go with it that they're still waiting on. For example, they give you all new lower, I don't know if they do upper control arms, new lower control arms, new brake, the hard brake lines that run along. bunch of other stuff that's all part of the kit. The replacement. They get 40 hours payback, labor payback from Toyota for their whoever does the work, and they can do it in about a week. But still waiting. Still waiting. Yeah, one more car comment. Another great car show up here happens at the Harkness State Park over in Waterford. It's a big old, robber baron mansion right on Long Island Sound. Fabulous landscaping, big open grounds, perfect place. A lot of big open fields, and they do what's called Brits by the Sea. All British makes. And that's it. No Porsches. They have other shows at other times, but the Brits by the Sea is one of the biggest. It's kind of like the Nearfest of British car meets in New England. It usually happens right around Father's Day weekend. Perfect timing. With beautiful, the roadies are all blooming over there. Really, really nice. And you see all sorts of cars, and lots of them, and lots of variations of them. Including hot rodded Mini Coopers with insane big engines, and makes you don't normally see a lot. AC Aces and Lotus Elises and all the different Lodi. I guess that's a plural of Lotus Lodi. Morgans, all different Morgans. Of course, all the different MGs, from the 30s and on. Really, really cool show. I don't know. I haven't been to one since 2019. COVID hit, and I don't think they had it for a couple of years. I think they had it last year, but I couldn't make it. But that's another really nice one to go to. And yeah, this car parade is not part of the Cars and Coffee. This is a special event, and you can watch YouTubes of them on the Audrain YouTube channel. This is a lot of these are very high-end cars, and some of them are just average cars. One of the that are in the judging on, it's kind of like the Pebble Beach car show of the East Coast now, along with Amelia Island, and all these cars like Azada Fascinis and big old Rollses and you name it. They're all. And I shot the video in 2021. They went right up along the board. Well, it's not really a boardwalk, but there's a long run in Narragansett Pier right along the water where there's a big long straightaway and and a seawall that overlooks the sea. I guess they call it seawall. And it's a big surfing spot. There's a boat launch there. But my son and I went there, and with our iPhones, we both shot like 15-minute videos of these cars going by in the early morning sunlight. It was spectacular. Anyhow, Paul, we'll say 73. I'm going to go out and enjoy some of the sunshine here. Kind of an off day. I've been cranking like I was actually working a job this past week, supporting the crew on the AC job or the heat pump job, and now we're all done. So feeling good. Feel like I'm on summer vacation. WA3VJB, AJ1G.
Yeah, gee. AJ1G, WA3VJB. Well, I hope the rest of it goes well, too. That's, like I said, you've invested your time wisely by being part of the project there. Very good on all the car show and details. Yeah, I meant to comment on the wooden-framed Morgan. I've only seen a couple of those in my time, but it's, of course, built to the old standard. And it's a good-looking car. I find the headlight and grille closely resembles the Jaguar of the same era. And I know that they're, a completely different automaker and all that, but there are some of the products from Coventry look a lot like a Morgan. And I remember not the back end, but the front end. The back end's got kind of that bustle that doesn't really resemble anything Jaguar-y. But the front does remind me of some Jaguars of that vintage. And when I see them coming, it's like, okay, which is it? And I have to guess. I don't see them often enough to really tell. And like on Sunday, man, this TR6 was the only authentic British car there. I guess there was a Wolseley. I think I'm saying it right. Old. It looked like an old cab. And it was there, parked off in the corner. It wasn't restored or anything, but the guy, bless his heart, he brought it to this. He should have parked next to the TR6 and they could have leaked oil together. Hey, let me go. I got to go here at the top of the hour. It's already running a little bit late, so nice visiting with you as always. I'll look for you again real soon. AJ1G, good afternoon from Annapolis, where it's 80 degrees. WA3VJB. Enjoy your afternoon.
WL7B.
Okay, there's WL7B. Bruce, Paul's probably hearing you. I'm barely hearing you. I think we're too close. I have that trouble with Pedro as well. Okay, Paul, yeah, leaking oil and Lucas Electrics. Yeah, there's a whole subject of a good subject for comedy. The Lucas Electric, the Prince of Darkness. Why do the British like their beer warm? Because they all have Lucas refrigerators. Well, how'd you like to climb on a submarine you're going to be riding around in, and when you drop down the hatch, you see the word Lucas on the switchboards? Probably one of the scariest moments of my career. Anyhow, Paul, 73, AJ1G.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw a comment. The Stanley Steamers also made cars with wooden frames, which it's amazing for the amount of weight that was in that car that they had a wooden frame. And that was my comment.
Well, when you put a submarine on the blocks in a dry dock, you're putting it on big chunks of oak.
This is true. This is true. I don't know what the wood was. It probably was oak. Maybe it was ironwood. It might have been ironwood. Who knows?